July, August, and September are also the season for painting your house. Yes. How many are doing that right now? Not one person. That must mean that you've done some planning and preparation in the past, and your house is durable and the color that you love. Is that right? Who's planning to paint in the future? One person. Great. Well, today I thought I would share with you, since it's seasonal, some tips and methods for painting. Like anything else, it does take planning and preparation. But what happens quite often is the painter has a break in his schedule and can fit you in. He's on the ladder and says, "Did you pick a color? Did you pick a color?" And there are so many, aren't there? When you go to the stores and you look at the paint departments, I have to tell you, to me, it's like the candy store. I get all excited. There's wonderful lights, and there are all these little palette pieces that you could take home with you. But for some people, it's a bit intimidating. Is it intimidating to any of you to pick a color? Okay. Well, then when it comes to the outside of your house, it isn't quite the same as the inside, is it? It's not 4 walls that take maybe a gallon or 2, and if you don't like it, you can change it. It's the body of your house, with siding, horizontal perhaps, and the garage. There's the trim, and the best part is the front door. So outside, exterior painting often needs at least 3 colors. But when the painter has a time in his schedule for you, and he starts the preparation, it really helps if you have your preparation in place. And that is a palette, like from Teagues Interiors, that might have designated all those colors by name and color and where they're supposed to go. Sometimes people come to me and they've been trying out that palette at the store. I recall just a few years ago a chateau built in Battleground. When I went to see the chateau, it had at least 12 patches of different colors on the back wall. That's why they called me. One of the hardest things I found to do is to pick a color from a patch, because the patch is most likely lighted by whatever the weather is that day, and it's on the wall of the house and may actually be surrounded by a previous color or wood or something. It's very deceiving. In my experience, I usually bring the colors together and test them in, believe it or not, the north light. You've perhaps heard master artists mention the value of north light. My store faces north, and the north light doesn't have the glare of the sun, doesn't give you the shadows that the sun gives you, doesn't glare in your eyes so you can actually see the colors. It brings out the real quality of the color. So when I pick out some colors for you, I put them together and test them in north light. So before the painter gets it and he's putting it on the second story, we know what the color's really going to look like. But the most fun of what I do is changing a mustard house that doesn't appeal to the owner to a nice blue and white house. It was a merchant seaman recently who called me from the bay down by the oil spill and said, "Can you help us pick a color?" So I went over and met the wife and the babies, and we picked a color, something that expressed them. And when he came home for a week, he had that house painted. The 2-story trim, the separate garage, and the front door in a nice navy blue. Why not for a merchant seaman? So when it comes to your exterior color, getting the help of a professional can help you plan. Have a palette for when there's a break in the weather, and you can give that to your painter or use it yourself. But I take into consideration the colors of the other houses in your neighborhood. They might have an impact on the way your house looks. The foliage around your house, the trees and the amount of shadow, the exposure of your house and the way the light hits it might make a difference in how the overall effect of your exterior might look. I've suggested colors for people on the lake. The house right past St. Rose was one that we did a palette for. On the Nichols side of the lake, another little 2-story house that's charming in sky blue colors, and then another one with shutters. So that required another set of colors. But my purpose today was to inspire you to the fact that yes, Home Depot says you can do it. They can help. But Teagues might help you quell the nervousness that you have about you can do it with a little bit of help in a paint palette that you can use when the painter has a break or when you feel like painting your house. That plan of knowing where you're going, you can really get there with the help of someone who can visualize how the whole house is going to look in those new colors and take away that pain of the 10 swatches on the wall that may or may not work for you. And don't forget, really, painting costs. It does cost. There's labor involved. It can be $3,000 to $5,000, as you know, if you hire a painter. The preparation costs. So to me, picking the color is the fun part. A palette costs just $175, a flat fee for the work that I do and experience for you. But hopefully that will make the value of the work that you hire for painting, or all that sweat equity that you put into painting your house, make that even more valuable and not feel like a mistake. So picking a color, it's the season for picking a color for your house.